Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar today. My name is Alex Smith, and I am the Chief Strategy Officer, co-founder here at Triad. And I have with me James Karanasios. Good afternoon, James.
Hey, Alex, what's going on?
Welcome. James is our National Account Manager and leads our Bank CTV solution and customer relationships and strategy in the field. So he's going to be on and discussing today specifically unlocking success and how banks can compete with connected TV advertising. There's been a lot going on with connected TV over the last few years. Today we want to demystify some of that. What are the strategies that work? What is connected TV? We're going to cover all of that and specifically talk about our Bank CTV solution and how we cultivated and curated programs specifically for the banking industry, whether you're a large national, regional, or a local 1 or 2 location or an online bank. So with that, I'm going to hop in and share my screen. We're going to start with a quick overview on what is connected television and get a little specific. So there is a lot of conversation around CTV, connected TV. Also, you hear terms like OTT and MVPD and all of these other acronyms that are out there that make it a little bit confusing. But let's make it simple. Connected TV is any television device, as you can see, that is connected to the internet, whether that's a smart TV, whether that's a Roku device, Apple TV, Chromecast. That also includes like set-top boxes, DirecTV, Xfinity, Dish Network, Cox Cable. Those are all now connected to the internet, and we have access to those devices, able to target those homes and serve ads to those individuals. Beyond that, CTV is access to all inventory. It's not just working with, let's say, the Hulu channel or app or just on Paramount Plus. What we have at Triad CTV is access, direct relationships with publishers and deal IDs to access all available ad inventory on any streamed or live connected television device. And with that, I would say, I mentioned the live. So live TV, sports, and news on things like Hulu Live, on things like on YouTube TV, as well as Sling. And DirecTV has their own live app and channel. So all of the live TV we also have access to. So now it becomes really talking about the audience targeting at a high level. So I'm going to cover that just quickly so we're all talking the same language moving forward. Then we'll jump right into banking CTV. So there's no question here, quick little slide, traditional television, it's everybody in a general market. Doesn't make sense for a lot of banks to do that. You may be doing broadcast or cable, as we call linear television ads. And there's lots of advantages to the connected TV. But in general, there's a lot of opportunity to steer away from linear in a broad sense. Let's talk about, well, James is based in Massachusetts. So from the Massachusetts market and Boston specifically, you know, it's going to be very difficult for a 6, 7, 8 branch location a bank to target 7 million people in the greater Boston area, right? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense financially on return on the ad spend and investment. But for connected TV, that's where it gets into exclusively targeting individuals that are audiences that are in market for the products and solutions geographically located near your service centers. Premium inventory, as I mentioned, it's all inventory. It's not just one app, just Hulu Direct. It's not just when you're streaming on Apple TV, et cetera, or just CNN or just Paramount Plus. All of that inventory, we have programmatic access. Programmatic means that we're going to build an audience, and then wherever that individual is watching television, we're going to bid real time on that individual and serve that ad to them exclusively. Few quick hitter benefits on CTV. All of the ads, this is large format television as we all know and love. One thing about connected TV we get questions on is how does it work? Does it work? It is no different from the consumer standpoint. When they're watching television, it is large format, living room quality, as we have all known and loved. We believe, and it is a truism, that television ads are the single most effective form of communication for a brand or a service provider to reach an audience and have uninterrupted 30 seconds, 15 seconds to build their case, explain their product and service, and tell their brand story. And what connected TV then allows you to do is pick and choose exactly who you want to serve that to versus how TV has traditionally been done. One thing I'll also pick up on this slide is we're talking about targeting and how to build those audiences. As it stands right now, 85% of all households in the US are reachable through connected television. They have a connected television device in home, at least one, right? Most of us have one in the living room, maybe a bedroom, maybe like in a basement or a den. Of that, CTV now represents over 50% of all television consumption, and that's across all demographics and age generations. So it has surpassed linear and cable combined, broadcast and cable, should say, collectively linear, as 49%, maybe even 48% as CTV continues to grow. So there's a huge reach here in terms of CTV as the largest access point and has more reach than any medium for television. Building that target audience now is the key. There are 3 ways to build a target audience: first-party data, third-party data, and geo-targeting. First-party data would be if you have a lead list, if you have a customer list, depending on the bank organization that we work with, many of them are able to provide some target lists for us to build relationships with and exclusively target. That's a possibility. Third-party targeting, James is going to dive into that here in a little bit, with in-market signal data, what people that are actively searching for mortgages, people with pre-qualified credit scores, all of that information we have access to over 300 third-party data providers that we're able to get highly accurate and directional data to target. And then lastly is geo-targeting. So imagine any geography that you'd like to target, whether that's a city, whether that's a zip code, a state, a county, or it's a mile radius, a certain mile radius or outside of a branch location or multiple branch locations. So you can really set and control all of that. With that, I'm going to hand it over to James. That kind of gives us all a context of what Triad CTV is as an organization and what CTV is as an advertising medium at a high level, so we're all talking the same language. But let's get more specific and talk about banks. One thing that I will say that we believe wholeheartedly at Triad CTV is that we believe that success does not happen to you, it happens because of you. It's a mantra that we own internally, and we are not going to be successful unless our customers are successful, right? Unless you, our bank clients and advertisers, are successful. And that goes into a challenge for you as well as you're reviewing this new information or transitioning budget that you may currently have, right? You're not going to see success and reach your goals and hit your business objectives unless you're taking intentional steps to do that. And we really believe in building that partnership. One step in doing that is we have spent a lot of time in the banking industry working with our bank advertisers, learning their business objectives, what they're trying to accomplish, their audiences, and developing Bank CTV. James, I'm going to let you take it from this point and talk a little bit about Bank CTV, what we put together, and how you work with banks in the field to build programs.
Yeah. So our Bank CTV solution really, as Alex, you mentioned, was built through our relationships with our banks. It's ever growing, right? So we continue to make sure that not only the things that we're learning from past campaigns, but what are we learning from current campaigns and things that are coming up. So really that Bank CTV solution was built out of pulling our top performing CTV campaigns with our banking clients and then applying that to the future to be able to be relatively prescriptive as far as which types of specific audiences you're going to want to be targeting and be in front of, what types of best practices go along with those types of audiences as well, so that you're having a very specific, very hyper-targeted, curated type of CTV experience that's built and custom tailored specific to the banking industry. You mentioned again that relationship aspect. So really how I work with banks, I'm working on a daily basis, right? It's my face that you're going to see when we're working together. I love meeting people. I'm like a golden retriever in that sense, but so so being able to work directly with those banks, largely it comes down to what are the specifics, whether it's seasonal, whether it's an annual plan, whether it's quarterly, what are the specific goals by product, what are the specific goals overall of a bank that's either local or regional, and how do we apply those types of goals and targets to build out those campaigns. So a lot of my time is spent building out very specific forecasts of total really what it's doing is you're putting together a forecast of available households that fit a target audience who are active on CTV, right? So we want to directionally get a sense of, okay, what does our total universe look like based on those types of products that we might be offering, based off of the types of goals that we have. You work with me to put together that forecast, and then from there, once we've kind of finalized and approved that forecast and have built out that media plan, we execute, the buy goes live, and then from there we're recapping on reporting, and we're always staying in contact as far as how the performance goes.
Right. Yeah. So it really sounds like the first step is, while we have curated programs, right, with bank CTV, it is not a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter program, but rather you're meeting with the bank, understanding their business use cases, their goals and objectives that quarter, that month, that year. And then now we're able to pull from these programs and successful campaigns that we've done in the past to put together programs that are proven successful, right? And so many times as marketers, we've all invested in a new channel or switched to a new vendor, and there's a lot of purple smoke and voodoo, like we'll call it that, right? And you're just hoping that those dollars go in, and you're having to understand that it could take 6 months or a year for you to understand the medium, take your learning, and roll that in. And a lot of times our budgets aren't massive, right? It's not like we're spending $1 million a month so we have all that data back for learning as a bank. But from our end now, we can work with you with a budget regardless of how big or small, and apply these things so you're optimizing, and out of the gate, you have curated programs that have proven results. You know exactly who the audience is going to receive it. You know where they're going to receive it. And you know that it's going to be delivered in that fashion. So then it becomes more of a message of, what do we want to say to that audience, because we know exactly who this is going to.
And it's a competitive space for banking, right? And so that's really where there's massive value in utilizing a partner like Triad, is the ability to go in and say, okay, well, let's be very specific with who we're going to target, right? Whether it's, we're really focusing on auto loans or some type of personal loan, right? Let's look for in-market signals to be able to weed out. And I would say something that's even more important is the qualification aspect, right? It's not just that you're targeting, you're pre-qualifying. So yes, I want to go after individuals who are in market for an auto loan or for a personal loan, but I want to go after individuals who are likely to qualify for that loan if they request more information and they're talking to someone at the bank. So we have the ability to go in and say, you know what, let's remove anybody who has poor or fair credit, right? We want individuals who have good credit to be able to convert those types of individuals and households. So it's really that combination of, yes, let's learn as much as we can about your goals, the types of things that you're trying to accomplish, who your target audience is, and how can we qualify from there to make sure that you're being very specific with who you're going to market with from a TV side of things, because we know, right, there's big, massive national banks out there. We know it's a competitive space, and being able to carve out some of that market share for your own bank is going to make you that much more successful. And that's really where that value comes from.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly it. That's the title, right, of the webinar, is how do you compete, right? How do you get market share, get attention in a very noisy industry and category where, and many times you may be being outspent 10 to 1, 100 to 1 in any given market. And the way you do that is you don't try to market and get your TV ad running to everybody in the area. You want to get your products and solutions and only pay for that ad to be in front of this very select pre-qualified group of individuals, right? And you're spending the right amount of money to be in front of the right audience at the right time. And the results that we've seen on the programs and the lift and new product launches to deposits, increases deposits. I mean, what are some of the programs from a strategy perspective, right? We understand how we do it. We understand how it works from CTV and how we build audiences with us. But what are some of the more specific use cases that we're seeing common in the field?
Yeah, well, we know for any bank and most financial institutions, it's growing assets, right? We want deposits. Things like personal checking, personal savings, right? Those are super high on the priority list of any bank and any that we're working with. So being able to target based off of life event, right? Individuals who have recently been married, recently moved in the last 6 months, just had their first child, those types of life event signals where we're able to pull those together and say, hey, this is a really high fidelity audience based on a life event where opening up a new checking account is something that they're probably going to be considering. So that's
new movers, right? Yeah,
exactly. So those types of things. Even on the, we've actually seen a lot in the small business checking side as well, making sure that we qualify specifically by businesses of a certain revenue, have a certain employee count, things like that, to be able to provide those small loan services to small businesses, whether it's across the country, regional, local, and things like that. And then on the back end of that as well, there's plenty of in-market signal type data that we have. So when it comes down to, hey, we're looking for, we're highlighting HELOCs this quarter. We're highlighting home equity loans. We want to get into, personal loans, anything that's more of that product or financial services, right? We have a wealth of in-market data signals that we're able to pull and be very, very specific with, so that you can be, again, very hyper targeted. Drawing a lot of value, being extremely efficient with your ad dollars, right? I know that the group that I'm targeting lives within 10 miles of my branch, 15 miles of my branch. They're in market for an auto loan. That's the type of individual that I want to be in front of. Those are the types of individuals that through over the course of 3 months, 6 months, that I want to stay visible and available to, because I know that's what's going to drive them to my bank and eventually be taking out a loan with us.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's so just James, to name a few, right? There are so many, right? There's so many number of ways. I would encourage anybody who has questions, please reach out to me. Let's ask those questions. Let's see what we have available, because there's so much data. Being able to apply that to TV has really been just groundbreaking the last 5 to 10 years. Yeah.
So banking CTV really then becomes the advertising medium accelerator, right? So you're not making missteps. You're not wasting ad spend. We know banking, we know your audiences, we have proven programs. Once we get to know you, right, your bank, what your objectives are, your growth objectives, new locations that you're opening, then we have prescriptive programs that we can start from as a template and then build more specific on your needs. James, we had committed to a 20-minute program and we're coming up on that time. So want to be respectful of everybody's time, but also wanted to give a quick little recap and then some next steps to learn more if interested. So again, connected TV has had a meteoric rise in the last 3 to 5 years, and it is not showing any signs of stopping. It is now over 50% of all television consumption, and 85% of homes in the US in your market are addressable by connected TV. It really then comes down to selecting the right partner from a television side, the CTV partner side. What are those audiences? Do they have experiences in your channel? Do they understand the business that you're in, the audience, and the markets that you're trying to expand on? And then finally, when you do that, is we also have a full comprehensive reporting, so you understand and can see. We're not going into the reporting on this. We'll have subsequent webinars. We can take one-on-one calls with you. Happy to walk through in detail our reporting process. Very comprehensive. And it gets very granular and transparent, so you see exactly what's happening, when and where. With that, I wanted to thank everybody for joining. If you do have questions and next steps, you're interested in learning more about CTV, bank CTV specifically, you'd like to speak with us, we'll have follow-up emails. Obviously, we have forms on our website that you can go and look. There's additional content. So on the site, if you go to triadctv.com, you'll see the industries tab at the top. Bank CTV is listed right there. There I am with a fun little video walking through some of the top 3 ways that we're seeing people leverage it recently. There's a little schedule link here to get access to, but also some additional information. Best of luck in your endeavor as you learn about this new medium, and it's exciting. I hope that you take the step to learn more. We'd be happy to talk to you about it. It's really doing some powerful things in the field and driving a lot of results for our bank partners. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, James.
Thank you.